Throughout history, humanity has unearthed wonders that defy explanation. Relics carved with impossible precision, cities buried in silence, and events so strange they shatter the line between fact and myth. Imagine standing before a temple, wall that aligns perfectly with the stars, yet built thousands of years before telescopes even existed, or staring at an ancient artifact that modern science still can't replicate. These aren't scenes from a fantasy film. They are real mysteries etched into the timeline of our world. And the strangest part? No one, not even the brightest, historians or scientists, has been able to fully explain them. Some secrets seem almost designed to stay hidden, as though history itself is guarding them. But what if unlocking these puzzles could change how we see human civilization forever? Before we unravel these mysteries together, take a quick moment to hit that like button. It really helps keep this channel growing. If you love exploring history's strangest secrets, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you won't miss what's coming next. And hey, share this video with a friend who enjoys a good mystery. Let's see if they can come up with their own theories too. The enigma of the Great Pyramids, rising from the golden sands of Giza. The Great Pyramids have stood for more than 4,500 years, yet their mysteries remain untouched by time. These colossal structures weren't just tombs. They were statements of power, ambition, and perhaps something more. But here's the question that still baffles even modern engineers. How did an ancient civilization, with no cranes, no trucks, and no modern machinery, construct monuments so perfectly aligned with the stars? Each block of limestone weighs several tons, yet they were transported, lifted, and placed with mathematical precision. The base of the Great Pyramid alone covers over 13 acres, and the sides align almost flawlessly with the cardinal directions. Coincidence? Or a deeper knowledge that we've yet to fully understand? Some argue that tens of thousands of workers, carefully organized, made the impossible possible. Others suggest advanced techniques, now lost to history. And then there are the more controversial theories, whispers of forgotten technologies, or even outside help from beyond this world. Standing before the pyramids today, you don't just see stone, you feel the weight of a civilization that achieved the unthinkable. The more we learn, the more the mystery deepens. Were the pyramids simply tombs of kings? Or could they hold secrets that rewrite human history? Stonehenge, a celestial calendar, or something more. On the rolling plains of Salisbury in England stands a circle of ancient stones that has puzzled humanity for centuries. Stonehenge. Massive slabs, some weighing up to 25 tons, were transported across miles of rugged terrain long before the invention of wheels strong enough to bear such weight. But moving the stones was only half the mystery. Why build it at all? At first glance, it might seem like a simple monument. But look closer, and you'll notice its alignment with the summer solstice sunrise and the winter solstice sunset. It's as if the builders embedded a cosmic calendar into the earth itself. Imagine ancient people gathering here, watching the first light of summer rise perfectly between those stones, a breathtaking sight that connected them to the heavens. But theories go beyond astronomy. Some suggest Stonehenge was a sacred site for rituals, healing, or even communication with the divine. Others whisper about more mysterious origins, lost knowledge, or an echo of something we can't fully grasp. What's most haunting is that the people who built Stonehenge left no written records. No scrolls, no instructions, no explanations, just these silent stones standing against the winds of time, challenging us to decode their purpose. Was Stonehenge a calendar, a temple, or something even more profound? The answer remains just out of reach. The Voynich manuscript. In a quiet corner of a Yale library lies one of the strangest books ever discovered, the Voynich manuscript. Bound in calfskin, filled with over 200 pages of handwritten text and mysterious illustrations, this book is unlike anything else on Earth. The catch? No one can read it. Its script flows elegantly across the pages, yet it matches no known language or code. For over a century, cryptographers, linguists, and even code breakers from World War II have tried to unlock its secrets. Every attempt has ended in frustration. Was it an elaborate hoax, or does it contain knowledge we've lost to time? The illustrations. only deepen the puzzle. Strange plants that don't exist anywhere in nature. Women bathing in pools connected by tubes. Cosmic diagrams that look both familiar and alien. It feels like peering into a parallel world through ink and parchment. Some researchers suggest it may have been a medical or alchemical text. Others believe it could represent an entirely lost language. Then there are wilder theories that it's the work of a genius ahead of their time, or even a message from somewhere beyond Earth. The truth remains hidden behind its indecipherable script. The Voynich manuscript is more than just a book. It's a challenge whispered through centuries. Can you unlock me? 4. The Nazca Lines. Across the arid desert plains of southern Peru lies one of history's strangest open-air mysteries, the Nazca Lines. Stretching over miles, these gigantic geoglyphs depict animals, plants, and abstract shapes. Some are so vast, you can only see their full form from high above the ground, yet they were carved long before flight was even imagined, created by removing the dark, sunburnt stones of the desert surface to reveal the pale earth beneath. The figures have survived for more than 1,500 years. But why were they made? Some scholars suggest they were ritual paths walked during ceremonies to honor the gods. Others argue they were astronomical markers, mapping out constellations across the earth. But then there are theories that reach further, that the Nazca people were signaling to something in the skies. After all, what purpose would giant images of a hummingbird, monkey, or spider serve, unless meant to be seen from above? The most haunting part is their scale. Imagine ancient hands carving lines hundreds of meters long, never able to see the complete picture. How did they maintain such precision? What compelled them to devote such effort? Standing in the desert today, the Nazca Lines whisper a truth we still cannot hear. The Baghdad Battery. In a museum in Baghdad once sat a curious object, a clay jar about the size of your hand, dating back over 2,000 years. Inside, archaeologists found a copper cylinder and an iron rod. To modern eyes, it looked suspiciously like a primitive battery. Could it be that ancient people discovered electricity? Some experiments suggest that when the jar is filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or grape juice, it produces a small electric charge, enough to power a faint spark or perhaps to electroplate objects with gold or silver. If true, this would mean that ancient civilizations harnessed electricity long before Benjamin Franklin flew his kite in a storm. But skeptics argue the jar may have simply been used to store scrolls or religious texts, and the battery theory is a modern projection, yet the possibility lingers. What if our ancestors stumbled upon a technology that vanished with time, leaving behind only a clay vessel as evidence? The Baghdad Battery reminds us that history is never as simple as it seems. What we think of as modern discoveries may, in fact, be rediscoveries, echoes of knowledge once known, then forgotten. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, divers exploring a Roman shipwreck off the coast of Greece uncovered a corroded lump of bronze that would later be hailed as the world's first computer. Known today as the Antikythera mechanism, this device stunned scientists with its complexity. When restored and studied, it revealed a system of interlocking gears capable of predicting eclipses, tracking planetary movements, and marking Olympic Games decades in advance. Built over 2,000 years ago, it was an astonishing feat of engineering, centuries ahead of its time. How could the ancient Greeks possess such advanced knowledge of gears and astronomy? The device's precision rivaled clocks made in the Renaissance, over 1,000 years later. Some believe it was the product of a genius inventor whose work was lost in history. Others suggested hints at a forgotten era of technology we've barely begun to uncover. Even today, only fragments of the mechanism survive, leaving us to wonder what other wonders it once contained. The Antikythera mechanism forces us to rethink the limits of ancient science and to question how much human knowledge has been lost beneath the waves of time. The mystery of Easter Island, Moai. Far out in the Pacific Ocean lies Easter Island, one of the most remote inhabited places on Earth. Scattered across its landscape are nearly 900 giant stone statues known as Moai. Carved from volcanic rock, some stand over 30 feet tall and weigh more than 80 tons. But the true mystery isn't just their size. It's how they were moved. The island's early inhabitants, the Rapa Nui, had no wheels, no beasts of burden, and limited resources. Yet somehow, these statues were transported miles from quarries to their resting places. Some researchers believe the statues were walked into place by rocking them with ropes, almost like making stone giants take steps. Others argue entire forests may have been cut down to create sledges or rollers. But beyond the mechanics lies a deeper question: why build them? The Moai are thought to represent deified ancestors, watching over the island's people. They're silent, faces stare inland, as if guarding the communities they once ruled. Still, the mystery lingers. How did such an isolated society achieve such monumental feats? And why did the statue building suddenly stop? The Moai stand as haunting reminders of both human ingenuity and the fragile balance between civilization and environment. The Lost City of Atlantis. Few legends have captivated the human imagination like Atlantis, the fabled city described by the philosopher Plato more than 2,000 years ago. According to his writings, Atlantis was a powerful civilization, advanced in knowledge and technology, that vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night of catastrophe. For centuries, scholars and dreamers alike have debated: was Atlantis a moral allegory, a warning against hubris, or a real place swallowed by the ocean? Some point to the volcanic destruction of the island of Santorini as a possible inspiration. Others search the Atlantic, the Caribbean, even Antarctica for traces of the lost city. The idea of an advanced civilization erased from history fuels endless speculation. If Atlantis existed, what knowledge did its people possess? Could they have influenced other ancient cultures? Or is Atlantis nothing more than a cautionary tale? A myth that survives because it touches something universal within us? The truth remains elusive. Atlantis might be forever buried under waves or locked away in metaphor. Yet its legend endures, reminding us of humanity's fascination with lost worlds, and the possibility that our past holds more secrets than we dare imagine. The Bermuda Triangle. Between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico lies a stretch of ocean that has gained an eerie reputation: the Bermuda Triangle. Over the past century, ships and planes have reportedly vanished here under mysterious circumstances, often without leaving a trace. One of the most famous cases is Flight 19, a squadron of U.S. Navy bombers that disappeared during a training mission in 1945. Despite extensive searches, no wreckage was ever found. Countless other vessels have been reported lost, fueling stories of supernatural forces at work. Explanations vary. Some point to natural phenomena: powerful storms, rogue waves, or magnetic anomalies that disrupt navigation. Others speak of methane gas eruptions from the seafloor that could sink ships without warning. And then there are the wilder ideas: alien abductions, time warps, or gateways to another dimension. While skeptics argue that the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous than any other heavily traveled stretch of ocean, the mystery persists. After all, why have so many strange disappearances been concentrated in this region? Whether it's science we don't yet understand or something more unearthly, the Bermuda Triangle remains one of the sea's most chilling enigmas. The Tomb of Qin Shi Huang. In 1974, farmers digging in China's Shanxi province stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of all time: the Terracotta Army. Thousands of life-sized clay soldiers, horses and chariots stood buried underground, guarding the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor. But here's the astonishing part: the emperor's actual burial chamber has never been opened. Ancient texts describe rivers of mercury flowing through it, and modern surveys suggest unusually high levels of mercury in the soil above. Legends say deadly traps were built inside to protect the tomb from intruders. For now, the chamber remains sealed, a time capsule untouched for over 2,000 years. What lies within? Priceless treasures, advanced ancient technologies, or simply the remains of a ruler obsessed with immortality? The Terracotta Army alone shows staggering craftsmanship, each figure unique, as if frozen mid-breath. If the outer guardians are this extraordinary, Imagine what secrets the inner tomb might hold. But until technology advances enough to excavate without destruction, Qin Shi Huang's final resting place will remain one of history's most tantalizing unopened mysteries. The Shroud of Turin. In a cathedral in Turin, Italy, lies a piece of cloth that has stirred debate for centuries, the Shroud of Turin. This linen bears the faint image of a man who appears to have been crucified, wounds on the hands, feet, and side eerily matching biblical descriptions of Jesus. For many, it is the very burial shroud of Christ. Scientific testing, however, has only deepened the mystery. Radiocarbon dating in the 1980s suggested the cloth was from the Middle Ages, making it a possible forgery. But critics argue those tests were flawed, contaminated by later repairs to the fabric. More recent studies point to the possibility that the shroud could be much older. How the image itself was imprinted remains unexplained. It isn't painted, it isn't burned, and it resists every attempt at replication. Some suggest it was formed by a burst of radiation, others by natural processes we still don't understand. Whether relic, masterpiece, or miracle, the Shroud of Turin continues to captivate believers and skeptics alike. It hangs suspended between faith and science, daring us to decide what we see: a forgery, a mystery of chemistry, or a window into the divine. The Olmec Colossal Heads. Deep in the jungles of Mexico stand colossal stone heads, some towering over 10 feet high and weighing up to 40 tons. Carved by the Olmec civilization more than 3,000 years ago, these heads are among the most enigmatic relics of the ancient Americas. Each one is unique, with detailed facial features, helmets, and expressions that feel almost lifelike. But here's the puzzle. How did the Olmecs move such massive stones across rough terrain, often from quarries miles away, without wheels or beasts of burden? The feat suggests an organizational skill and engineering knowledge far beyond what we typically imagine for early societies. Then comes the bigger question: why? Some believe the heads represent rulers or warriors, immortalized in stone to project power and legacy. Others see them as ceremonial guardians, protecting sacred spaces. Yet no written records survive to confirm their purpose. Adding to the mystery, some researchers have noted features on the heads that seem distinct, sparking debates about whether they hint at cultural connections stretching farther than we realize. The Olmec heads are not just statues. They are silent messengers from a civilization still shrouded in mystery. Göbekli Tepe. In southeastern Turkey lies Göbekli Tepe, a site so ancient it rewrote human history. Dating back nearly 12,000 years, thousands of years older than Stonehenge or the pyramids, this vast temple complex challenges everything we thought we knew about early civilizations. Here, massive stone pillars stand arranged in circles, many carved with images of animals, abstract symbols, and even humanoid figures. What makes it extraordinary is that it was built before the advent of farming, pottery, or even permanent settlements. According to conventional history, humans at that time were still nomadic hunter-gatherers. How, then, did they design and construct such a monumental site? Some scholars suggest Göbekli Tepe was a place of ritual gathering, where religion or spirituality sparked the birth of civilization itself. Others whisper about lost knowledge, or even forgotten cultures that predated the ones we know. Even stranger, the site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE, as if its creators wanted to protect or conceal it. Why hide such an extraordinary achievement? Göbekli Tepe stands as proof that humanity's story is far older and far more mysterious than our textbooks suggest. The mystery of Roanoke Colony. In 1587, more than 100 settlers established the first English colony in North America, on Roanoke Island. When supply ships returned 3 years later, the entire colony had vanished. No bodies, no battle signs, just a single word carved into a post: Croatoan. What happened to them? Some theories suggest they joined nearby Native American tribes. Others argue they perished from famine, disease, or conflict. Yet the total absence of evidence has kept the mystery alive for over 4 centuries. The word Croatoan points to Croatoan Island, now Hatteras Island, but no definitive link was ever found. Later explorers searched, but by then any traces of the settlers had vanished into history. The Roanoke mystery became a chilling lesson in the fragility of colonization, and a haunting story that endures in American folklore. Were they absorbed peacefully into another culture, or did they meet a darker fate? We may never know. The lost colony of Roanoke remains a ghost chapter in the story of the New World, reminding us that sometimes entire communities can vanish without a trace, leaving behind only questions carved in wood. The Sphinx of Egypt. Guarding the Giza Plateau with a silent, enigmatic stare, the Great Sphinx is one of the most iconic monuments in the world. Carved from a single block of limestone, the statue stretches 240 feet long and rises 66 feet high. Yet despite its fame, the Sphinx remains cloaked in mystery. Most Egyptologists date it to around 2500 BCE, built under Pharaoh Khafre. But some researchers argue it could be far older, pointing to patterns of erosion that suggest centuries of heavy rainfall, conditions that predate the known Egyptian dynasties. If true, it would mean the Sphinx was carved by a civilization lost to history. Then comes the question of its missing nose and ceremonial beard, long broken away. Was it vandalized, or did natural forces wear them down? Even its symbolic meaning is debated. Was it a guardian of tombs, a celestial marker aligned with the stars, or a monument with a purpose we've yet to grasp? The Sphinx gazes east, watching the sunrise for thousands of years, keeping its secrets hidden in the desert winds. To this day it stands as a riddle in stone, one that may never fully reveal its truth. 16. The Mayan calendar. In 2012, the world buzzed with speculation. Did the ancient Maya predict the end of the world? The answer lies in the famous Mayan calendar, a sophisticated system of timekeeping that remains one of history's most impressive achievements. The Maya didn't just track days and months. Their calendar measured vast cycles of time called baktuns, stretching across thousands of years. The end of one such cycle fell on December 21, 2012, which many misinterpreted as an apocalyptic prophecy. In reality, it simply marked the beginning of a new era. But the deeper mystery is how the Maya developed such advanced astronomical knowledge. Their calendar aligned with solar years, lunar cycles, and even planetary movements with incredible precision. Without telescopes, how did they achieve such accuracy? Some believe they inherited wisdom from even older civilizations. Others suggest their deep cultural connection to the skies fueled observations over centuries. The Mayan calendar wasn't a doomsday clock. It was a testament to human ingenuity, and perhaps a reminder that time itself is more cyclical, more mysterious than we often imagine. The Copper Scroll treasures. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered in the 1950s, one stands apart, the Copper Scroll. Unlike the others, written on parchment, this one was engraved on thin sheets of copper, and it doesn't contain scripture. Instead, it lists what appears to be a treasure map. The scroll describes vast hoards of gold, silver, and sacred artifacts, hidden in dozens of locations across ancient Judea. If true, the treasure would be worth billions today. But here's the problem. None of the sites have ever been confirmed, and no treasure has been found. Some scholars believe the scroll is symbolic, representing spiritual wealth rather than physical riches. Others insist it points to real caches, hidden during times of war, perhaps by the priests of the Second Temple. The very decision to carve the scroll in copper suggests its importance. It was meant to endure. Was it a riddle meant for future generations, or a record of riches long plundered? The Copper Scroll remains one of archaeology's most tantalizing mysteries, a treasure hunt that might never end. Curry. The Rongorongo Script. On Easter Island, the same land of the giant Moai statues, another enigma lingers, the Rongorongo Script. Carved onto wooden tablets in looping, glyph-like symbols, it represents one of the world's few undeciphered writing systems. Discovered in the 19th century, the script has resisted every attempt at translation. Some symbols seem to depict people, plants, and animals, while others are purely abstract. But with so few surviving tablets, most destroyed or lost during colonial times, Cracking the code has proven nearly impossible. If deciphered, Rongorongo could unlock the secrets of the Rapa Nui people, revealing their history, religion, and worldview. Did they record the story of how the Moai were built? Did they warn of the environmental collapse that struck their society? The tragedy is that the knowledge of how to read it may have died with the island's elders, silenced by disease and cultural disruption. Today, Rongorongo is like a locked door with no key, a script that whispers across time but refuses to speak. It is a reminder that language itself can vanish, taking entire civilizations' voices with it. The crystal skulls, scattered in museums and private collections. Around the world are a handful of intricately carved crystal skulls. Some claim they are pre-Columbian artifacts, created by ancient civilizations with impossible precision. Others insist they are modern forgeries, crafted in the 19th century. But regardless of origin, the skulls carry an aura of mystery that refuses to fade. Made from clear or milky quartz, many of these skulls are flawless, with no visible tool marks. Skeptics argue they were carved using modern rotary tools, but believers point out that quartz is notoriously difficult to shape. Even today, how could ancient artisans have achieved such perfection without advanced equipment? Legends say the skulls possess mystical powers, healing energy, hidden knowledge, or even connections to other realms. Some stories claim that when all the skulls are reunited, they will reveal secrets of humanity's origins. Science remains unconvinced, but fascination endures. Whether artifacts of an unknown civilization or clever creations of more recent times, the crystal skulls remind us of our deep longing for objects that bridge the gap between myth and reality. The Mothman prophecies. In the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the 1960s brought chilling tales of a creature with glowing red eyes and enormous wings, the Mothman. Sightings described it as man-sized, capable of flight, and often appearing near moments of disaster. The legend reached its peak in 1967 when the Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 46 people. Many locals claimed the Mothman had been seen in the days leading up to the tragedy, cementing its reputation as an omen of doom. Skeptics dismissed the sightings as misidentified birds, owls, or pure hysteria. But others believed the creature was something supernatural, a harbinger, a warning, or even an interdimensional visitor. John Keel's famous book, The Mothman Prophecies, only fueled the myth, later inspiring films and documentaries. Decades later, the Mothman legend still draws curious travelers and paranormal enthusiasts. Was it a real creature, a collective hallucination, or something we can't yet explain? Whatever the truth, the Mothman has taken flight into American folklore, leaving behind a mystery as eerie as its glowing red eyes. The Tunguska event. On a quiet morning in 1908, a massive explosion rocked Siberia near the Tunguska River. The blast flattened over 800 square miles of forest, yet no impact crater was ever found. Witnesses reported a fireball streaking across the sky, followed by shock waves felt hundreds of miles away. The leading theory is that a comet or meteor exploded in the atmosphere before reaching the ground, releasing energy equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs. But no fragments of space rock were discovered, leaving scientists puzzled. Other theories abound: volcanic activity, a pocket of natural gas erupting, or even, according to fringe speculation, an alien spacecraft malfunctioning. What makes the Tunguska event particularly haunting is its timing. Had it occurred over a populated area, it could have wiped out an entire city in an instant. Instead, it struck a remote wilderness, sparing humanity, but leaving behind questions that linger more than a century later. The Tunguska mystery reminds us of Earth's vulnerability to cosmic forces, and how little warning we might have if history ever repeats itself. The Piri Reis map in 1929. Historians in Istanbul stumbled upon a map drawn by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis in 1513. At first glance, it seemed like a typical world map of the time. But then came the shock. It depicted parts of South America with remarkable accuracy, long before much of the continent had been explored. Even stranger, it appeared to show the coast of Antarctica, centuries before the icy continent was officially discovered. How could a 16th century cartographer know such details? Piri Reis himself claimed his map was based on older sources, some dating back to ancient times. Could those lost maps have preserved knowledge from civilizations long forgotten? Some argue the Antarctica section is a misinterpretation, simply distorted drawings of South America. Others insist the accuracy is too uncanny to dismiss. Whether coincidence, genius, or a glimpse into lost geography, the Piri Reis map challenges our understanding of exploration. Did ancient mariners chart the globe before Columbus and Magellan? Or is the map a tantalizing clue that human history runs deeper than we know? The Dancing Plague of 1518. In the summer of 1518, the city of Strasbourg was struck by one of history's strangest events. It began with a single woman dancing in the streets, and soon dozens joined her. Within weeks, hundreds were moving uncontrollably day and night, unable to stop. Some collapsed from exhaustion. Others reportedly danced themselves to death. The bizarre phenomenon baffled local authorities. Physicians ruled out supernatural causes and instead blamed hot blood. Their solution? Encourage more dancing. They even hired musicians to keep the afflicted moving, only worsening the crisis. What caused this so-called dancing plague? Some theories suggest mass hysteria brought on by stress and famine. Others point to ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold that grows on rye bread, capable of inducing spasms and visions. Yet no single explanation fully accounts for the scale of the outbreak. The dancing plague eventually faded, leaving behind a chilling reminder of how fragile the line is between mind, body, and environment. To this day, Strasbourg's strange summer of unstoppable motion remains one of the most unsettling, unsolved mysteries of the human condition. The Oak Island Money Pit. Off the coast of Nova Scotia lies Oak Island, home to a pit that has drawn treasure hunters for over 200 years. Legend says the pit hides unimaginable riches, pirate gold, the Holy Grail, even Shakespeare's manuscripts. But every attempt to excavate it has ended in frustration, disaster, or death. The pit itself is a labyrinth of tunnels, booby traps, and flood systems that fill with seawater as soon as digging gets deep. Some believe it was designed deliberately to protect whatever lies within. Others argue the pit is simply a natural sinkhole, its traps nothing more than quirks of geology. Despite countless expeditions and millions spent, no treasure has been found. Instead, tantalizing clues, fragments of parchment, bits of metal, carved stones, have fueled the mystery for generations. Is Oak Island hiding something extraordinary? Or have centuries of hope and obsession built a myth around an empty hole? Either way, the Money Pit has become a legend of its own, drawing adventurers who risk everything for a chance at solving its riddle. The Wow Signal. On August 15, 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University detected a signal from deep space that stunned astronomers. It lasted just 72 seconds, came from the constellation Sagittarius, and was so unusual that researcher Jerry Amon circled it on the data printout and scribbled a single word: wow. The Wow signal has never been detected again. It wasn't a satellite, a planet, or known cosmic noise. For decades, scientists have searched for a natural explanation, from comets to interstellar hydrogen emissions, but none fully fit the data. Could it have been a message from another civilization? A cosmic hello that slipped past our ears, never to return? The possibility lingers, fueling endless debates in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The beauty and frustration of the Wow signal is its uniqueness. With no repeat, no pattern, and no explanation, it remains a tantalizing hint of the unknown. In a universe so vast, the signal reminds us of two truths. We may not be alone, and the greatest mysteries are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers.